Hey people, another rant and rave. It's about 10 minutes after 5 in Florence, Alabama on January 25th, 2025. And I can't sleep. I can't sleep. What you call it? Been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube about Trump and these executive orders, and it just makes me angry and scared because he's doing away with stuff that has been law for over 40 years. I think the Civil Rights Acts, he just made it illegal for federal employees to have all these protections. But you know that what the federal government goes through, the private sector is going to do too. So anyway, yeah, I mean, like, the stuff that he said he was going to do, he's doing, even though he didn't stress it on the campaign. But I think he didn't stress it on the campaign because he knew that there would be a lot of backlash before he even got into office. And people didn't take it seriously because these things have been law for so long. But, you know, if you think about him getting rid of Roe v. Wade, and not that he did it, he just backed whoever was, bringing the lawsuit, or agreed with it. I won't say that he backed them, but he agreed with whoever was bringing the lawsuit. And when it disappeared, nobody did anything about it. Yeah, nobody did anything about it. So now he's getting rid of all this stuff and nobody's going to do anything about it. Democrats have just decided to sit back and see if the Republicans implode. But Pete Hegseth, the Fox News reporter, who's got no leadership or experience with foreign policy. I mean, he's just not qualified. Yes, he was in the military, if you can call the National Guard the military. But he was in the military, and he was bad at that. And then he ran some veterans programs, and he ran them into the ground. So he doesn't know how to handle money, big money. I think it's bad that he is an adulterer and an alcoholic, but that has not stopped political people in the past from getting jobs and maintaining them. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'm concerned about his lack of knowledge. I mean, when questioned about Pentagon policy and requirements in his confirmation hearing, he couldn't answer questions. So, please. And because they got him through, Democrats can't sit back. They can't. They need to voice and market as much as possible how bad the situation is. And getting back to why I can't sleep is just a thing of all the protections that we grew up with. I mean, I'm the same age as the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which, as far as I can know, was the you can't discriminate in the job place. Somebody applies for a job, you can't just say, well, you're black and I don't want to hire you. Even though that happens, but nobody can say it out loud, and they have to justify why this black person didn't get the job if that person decides to fight it. So he's getting rid of all those protections that that you can even sue somebody for discriminating against you. And then he got rid of the Civil Rights Act of 1965, which guaranteed that everybody could vote. So if you can't vote, then you can't protest. You can't make any changes if you cannot vote. Not so much that the gerrymandering stuff didn't make sense when you think about that. You wonder why they try to scoot around the black neighborhoods and make them less politically powerful. That makes even more sense based on him getting rid of these acts. And he's not done yet. It's only been 5 days since he was installed in the White House, and he's gotten rid of so much. Now he's going to try to get rid of FEMA, which helps people in natural disasters. Come on. He wants to put everything back to the states. And if he puts everything back to the states, then there's no coordinated effort to get anything done. And yes, it's about time to... You don't want to succeed from, the union, but he's making it easier for people to justify doing that. So, I don't know. And I live in a red state. I mean a deep red state. Alabama. And I've got no money to leave. Because as much as I hate the cold, I'd go back to New York. I grew up in New York. I lived there for 36 years. And I left New York because I was having a mental breakdown. And the cold just got to me. My parents had moved back to Florence when they retired, because they were originally from here. And so anyway, fact is, I'm in Alabama. I'm stuck. I can't go anywhere. I wanted to go, if I could leave, go to Canada, but I can't remember what politician it was. It might well, I don't know. But it was somebody in Canada, somebody who knew what they were talking about, was either a lawyer or a politician. Can't remember. But they said, we got our MAGA up here too. So it's no more safe for people to come to Canada than it is to stay in the U.S. I'm thinking about going to Australia or New Zealand, but then again, like I said, this is pipe dreams because I've got no money to do it. But yeah, I mean, I would love to leave this country right now. Somebody, I think it was the woke gardener, said, get your passport. So I'm saving to get my passport. I gotta find my birth certificate and all that stuff so I can have those documents handy. My brother and I were talking about this situation a couple days ago. I don't know, I've lost my train of thought. But we were talking about this situation a couple days ago, and I was talking about, before all this stuff came down, like when the mass deportations were talked about, I said, like, how are you going to tell just by looking at somebody that they're here legally? They're going to make us have to carry papers now, because you're not going to be able to tell, like, whether somebody is a citizen or not just by looking at them. Even if they have an accent, you can't tell, because they might have gone through the process and gotten whatever it is. And so, like I said, we're going to have to start, carrying papers around, which we have never had to do since, like, the Civil War. We have never had to carry papers since the Civil War. And what was that? That was like over 100 years ago. 64 was 100 years. 74, 84, 94, 2004, 2014. No. Yeah, 2014 and 2024. So yes, it's like 60 years old. 160 years old. We have not had to carry papers. There was no, I don't know what the word is, but black people were free. So there was no need to find out whether they were free or a slave, because they were free to begin with. So there was no need to carry papers. Now, if you want to stay in this country, you want to, you're going to want to have papers so that if the cops stop you, I'm not dealing with these Karens out there. Those Karens out there, I'm not going to indulge them and say, show me your papers. No. Are you a policeman? Show me your badge. Show me your badge and I'll show you my papers. But I never used to be frightened living in this city, because when I was growing up, we would come here every summer, and I never ran into any bigotry or problems. But ever since Trump got in the first time in 2016, I have been nervous ever since then. I was nervous in 2016, I was nervous in 2020, and I'm nervous now, and I'm really nervous now. So I don't have a solution other than to protect yourself. Do everything you can to protect yourself. People are suggesting body cams. Get your body cam. Get your car cam. Keep your cell phone handy. That's all I can say. I'm just, like I said, just really nervous, and stand your ground stuff. Oh my God. My brother and I were talking about whether or not to get a gun, because this is one of those stand your ground states, and people carry around guns like they're, I don't know. They're common. They're common. Friend of mine, who was kind of our handyman, he carries around a gun all the time, and it makes me nervous when he comes over, and I don't think anything's gonna happen. But you see that gun on his holster, and you think, damn, stuff is so bad that he has to carry around a gun to protect himself. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't see me carrying one because I'm just scared of them totally. You know, I'm afraid that I'll do something that'll cause the gun to go off, and either I'll kill myself or kill somebody else. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm not really afraid of having to use it. I'm afraid that I'll have an accident and something will happen. So, I don't know, this thing has gotten a little longer than I had intended it to be. And I might do another one later, just from the fact that I can't sleep right now. And I gotta be up and running at 10 o'clock. Hopefully I'll be able to go back to bed in a little bit. So, let me know, if you're concerned too. And if you're not, why not? So I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.